Hello, this is Ayako Sekiguchi from Philness Kitchen. This time, the theme is increasing the length of your abdominal muscles. There are said to be about 1,000 types and 1 trillion individual gut bacteria living in our intestines. Whether these bacteria can continue to work actively depends on our own efforts. Amazingly, the balance of our gut flora can change dramatically in just 2 weeks. So this time, I'll talk about the benefits you can gain by improving your internal environment. 5 benefits and how to increase your good bacteria. I'll introduce 4 make-ahead recipes packed with useful information you'll be glad to know. I'm Kusan, so please watch until the end. It's great when your internal environment is healthy. I'll talk about 5 benefits, so let's get started. The first benefit is boosting your immunity. About 70% of your body's immune system is inside. Immune cells gather there, and when they function properly, they can fight off invaders from outside. They protect your body from pathogens, viruses, and bacteria. Second, they produce short-chain fatty acids and vitamins. Short-chain fatty acids like acetic acid, butyric acid, and propionic acid are released by some beneficial bacteria during the fermentation of dietary fiber, which helps keep your gut healthy. They also serve as an energy source and are involved in producing a protective mucus called mucin. They help prevent obesity and diabetes, contributing to overall health. In addition, they produce 8 types of B vitamins: B1, B2, B6, B12 niacin, pantothenic acid, biotin, and folic acid, as well as fat-soluble vitamins. Third, gut bacteria aid in digestion. They aid in absorption and detoxification. They break down food that hasn't been fully digested, help with digestion and absorption, and also work to eliminate harmful substances. Fourth, they help normalize bowel movements. By increasing the number of good bacteria in the gut, they help improve issues like diarrhea, constipation, and difficult bowel movements. Muscle weakness due to aging can also make constipation more likely. It's important to be mindful of your internal environment. Fifth and finally, it helps support mental health. Serotonin and oxytocin, known as happiness hormones, are found in cell membranes and are released by cells. It has become clear that there is a close connection with the brain. When your internal environment is disrupted, it can affect your mental state, causing irritability and anxiety. That's why hearing is important for maintaining mental health. The interior contains both beneficial bacteria and potential cancer-causing factors. There are also harmful bacteria that produce and release substances and toxins. 20% are good bacteria, 10% are bad, and 70% are opportunistic. The more ideal the balance and the greater the diversity, the better. It's said that a moderate balance is best, and it's important for both good and bad bacteria to exist in just the right proportions. It's said that if you continue effective methods, you can greatly improve the balance of your gut bacteria in about 2 weeks. Now let me talk about the key points for maintaining a healthy internal environment. Let's consume foods that contain beneficial bacteria, as well as foods that serve as food for those bacteria. Foods containing beneficial bacteria are called probiotics, and examples include processed foods like kimchi, yogurt, and natto. Foods that serve as food for beneficial bacteria are called prebiotics. Dietary fiber and oligosaccharides are examples of prebiotics. Water-soluble dietary fiber is especially effective. Beta-glucan, which is abundant in unrefined grains like barley and oatmeal, pectin found in fruits like bananas and kiwis, and inulin found in vegetables like burdock root and onions are all good sources. Seaweeds also contain a lot of water-soluble dietary fiber. Try to include these foods in your diet. Now let's talk about how to increase beneficial bacteria. I've gathered a variety of ingredients for the recipes. Here we have seaweed. Mushrooms and sweet potatoes are especially high in dietary fiber and are effective ingredients for improving your gut environment. This is Chinese chives, and generally vegetables, fruits, and fermented foods are good as well. I've prepared things like miso and yogurt. To avoid consuming too many animal-based foods this time, I'd like to use thick fried tofu. We'll mainly use foods that increase good bacteria. as well as foods containing dietary fiber and oligosaccharides that serve as food for good bacteria. With that in mind, I'd like to make 4 simple dishes. The first one is a quick stir fry with kirikobu and enoki mushrooms. Let it sit, then season it with mentsuyu. I'll just eyeball the amount, so please use this as a rough guideline. Trim the ends where the wood shavings are attached. This is a large whole enoki mushroom. There's one whole cluster. Separate it into smaller, bite-sized pieces to make it easier to eat. If you think the bamboo is too long, just cut it in half. It's okay to do this. I've roughly separated them like this. These are the cut pieces. Quickly rinse them, and since they're a bit long, cut them in half. That's all for the preparations. I'm trying stir frying with sesame oil this time. First, add enoki mushrooms and begin stir frying. I'll add the sliced konnyaku too. For seasoning, I want to keep it simple and use mentsuyu. This is Yotsu's mushroom sauce, and it's a mushroom-based one. It's a rich mentsuyu. Quickly stir fry, and once the kelp starts to soften a little, check the flavor. Yes, it tastes just right. Turn off the heat once and sprinkle ground sesame seeds on top to finish. Ground sesame seeds are, in fact, they're rich in dietary fiber, vitamins, and have rejuvenating properties. They're truly healthy ingredients. I enjoy adding them to all sorts of dishes like this. You can use as much sesame as you like, just like this. The overall flavor becomes a bit richer and tastier. Once everything is mixed together, it's done. Next, I'll show you an easy make-ahead dish, tuna with meitake mushrooms. Meitake mushrooms are often sold in these large packs, so I want to use them all up at once. It might be a bit plain with just mushrooms, so I'll add some tuna like this. I'm going to use all of it, oil and all, to get all the flavor. The ingredients are really simple, but it's an easy and delicious make-ahead dish. This tuna is finished with rice oil and it's really tasty, so I use it often. I'm going to break the meitake mushrooms apart now. It's fine to do it roughly, especially with meitake and other mushrooms, They're very healthy ingredients, rich in dietary fiber and low in calories, especially mushrooms. Meitake mushrooms are high in vitamins, so as the weather becomes unstable, when there are more rainy or cloudy days, ingredients like these can help prevent vitamin deficiencies. Using these types of ingredients is beneficial. Put the frying pan on medium heat. Use all of the oil from the tuna confit. When you saute the meitake mushrooms in this oil, it adds a lot of umami and makes it delicious even without adding anything else. If you're using a non-oil type, just use your preferred oil. Anything is fine, just add a little bit. Now, saute the meitake mushrooms together. The meitake mushrooms have started to soften. I heard that meitake mushrooms are a good source of vitamins, but tuna also contains vitamins. So, this recipe is also recommended if you want to get more vitamins. The mushrooms have softened quite a bit now, so it's time to season them. I want to keep it simple and just use oil for flavor. Okay, once the flavor has blended throughout, it's done. Now the next dish is spicy miso stir-fried thick-fried tofu and garlic chives. Miso is a probiotic food, which means it contains live beneficial bacteria. It's truly a representative fermented food. By skillfully using miso for seasoning like this, you can naturally incorporate fermented foods into your diet. This time, I'm going to add a little chili oil to give it a spicy kick. For the ingredients, I'll use garlic chives and thick fried tofu, which is a plant-based protein. Here are the garlic chives. Cut them into bite-sized pieces. Garlic chives, like onions and garlic, contain a component called alliin, which helps thin the blood, so they're not only good for you, but also help purify your blood. It's a vegetable. And here is the thick fried tofu. Thick fried tofu is made by compressing tofu, so it's quite dense. Among soy products, it has a high amount of protein. It's easy on your wallet and also very satisfying to eat. If you put it in your basket when shopping, I think you can use it for various dishes. Okay, that's all for the preparation. Heat a frying pan over medium heat and add rice oil. Any oil you like is fine. You can add matsutake mushrooms and garlic chives at the same time. Let's stir fry them together, by the way. Rice oil contains a lot of oleic acid, which helps promote bowel movements. I usually use rice oil quite often for cooking. If you don't have enough, olive oil has a similar effect. For seasoning, it's miso. The miso has blended in, so I'll add a little bit of tentu sugar. Tentu sugar contains oligosaccharides, so I recommend it as a type of sweetener. To finish, add chili oil. This is up to your preference. Alright, it's done. Next, we'll make sweet potato with yogurt. Sweet potatoes are also a very effective ingredient for regulating digestion. In addition to being high in dietary fiber, sweet potatoes also contain something called resistant starch. It's an indigestible starch, but it works in a similar way to dietary fiber. Furthermore, the skin contains a substance called yarapin, which helps improve bowel movements. The skin is especially rich in dietary fiber, and the red color comes from polyphenols, which are antioxidants. Sweet potatoes contain a variety of beneficial components like these. This time, I'd like to try making a salad using sweet potatoes together with fermented foods like yogurt. This time, I want to use the sweet potatoes with the skin on, so I washed them thoroughly. If you're concerned about the skin, it's fine to peel it off. Then cut the sweet potatoes with the skin on into bite-sized pieces about this size. Cut them into pieces that are easy to eat. While you're cutting the sweet potatoes,
First,
the potatoes turn black due to an antioxidant called chlorogenic acid. It's better not to soak them in water so you can get more nutrients. I recommend it. Sweet potatoes have a slightly yellow color, which comes from beta-carotene, a nutrient found in many yellow and green vegetables. They also contain vitamin C, so you can expect beauty benefits as well. That's how sweet potatoes are, and as for onions, you can add them if you like. Just a little. Since it's a salad, I'd like to add some sliced onions. Don't soak them in water. I want to use them as they are, so please adjust the amount as needed. Something like this should be fine. Now for the sweet potatoes, wrap them and heat them in the microwave. I microwaved about 300 grams of sweet potatoes for around 5 minutes. The heating time will change depending on the size, so please keep an eye on them as they cook. If you can easily pierce them with a skewer and they're soft, they're ready. If there's some water collected at the bottom, just drain off any excess. Now, add the sliced onions we prepared earlier. This time, I'm only using onions and sweet potatoes, but you can also add chopped walnuts or raisins if you like. Please feel free to add other ingredients as well. For seasoning, use yogurt and mayonnaise. I added mayonnaise to yogurt at about a 1:2 ratio. Then adjust the flavor with salt and pepper. Sweet potatoes mixed with yogurt are done. I quickly made 4 dishes in no time, but I'd like to tell you a bit about how they taste. Excuse me for standing. This is sauteed kelp stems and enoki mushrooms with noodle soup base. The umami of the noodle soup base and the richness of ground sesame really come through. It's a simple seasoning, but it turned out really delicious. Next is the tuna and maytake mushrooms. This one is also made with just maytake, mushrooms, and tuna, but it turned out really tasty. Next is spicy miso stir-fried, thick-fried tofu, and garlic chives. Well, this one, with the hearty texture of the thick fried tofu, I think it's more than enough to be the main dish. It feels really satisfying and will definitely go well with rice. And finally, we have sweet potatoes mixed with yogurt. Sweet potatoes themselves are a sweet ingredient, but with the refreshing taste of yogurt and mayonnaise, it's well balanced as a side dish. These 4 dishes are really simple recipes, but if you keep them stocked in your fridge, I think they'll be really handy as side dishes for lunch boxes or meals. Please try them while being mindful of your internal health. To begin with, our bodies are made up of a wide variety of microorganisms that protect us. Our gut bacteria are believed to have originated from microorganisms in the soil, and truly, it's like we have soil inside our stomachs. It's said that our gut bacteria weigh between 1 and 1.5 kilograms, which is about the same weight as the liver. What kinds of foods should we choose to create healthy soil? Improving your gut health can take just 2 weeks. Evaluate your eating habits and try making these adjustments. Thank you very much for watching until the end. Well then, let's meet again in another video.